Just 3 years ago, we were the 5th highest unemployment rate in the country. We had about 400,000 people out of work in North Carolina. We had the highest income tax and the highest corporate tax in the Southeast. We had a $550 billion shortfall in Medicaid. We owed the federal government $2.6 billion for unemployment borrowing from the federal government, which most people don't realize. We borrow that money and have to pay it back to the federal government. We had no way to pay it back. And people were hurting. People were hurting, and we're still in that recovery, and there are still people hurting in many parts of the state, but we've seen an incredible rebound in the economy in North Carolina. We have, in almost every sector of business, we see double-digit increases. We even have about an 8% increase in manufacturing and a 6% increase in construction, which we would have never dreamed of just 3 or 4 years ago. And in fact, in many of our cities, primarily, the cranes are back, and we have construction business going, which has helped many of our labor forces. And in fact, in some areas, the downside, in some areas of our state, we have a skill shortage at this point in time, primarily in IT, construction, welding, electricians, mechanics, and also in healthcare, especially in nursing and other parts of healthcare. And that's one of our great challenges of this pretty big rebound at this point in time. So instead of that being the 5th highest unemployment rate in the country, we've had some of the, we're in the top 10 in employment resurgence. I think Florida's been our main competition at this point in time. Our unemployment rate's down to about 5.6% from a high of 8.9%, and that's one of the largest drops in the United States of America. The other good news is this, is that our wages have also gone up. Both household income and personal wages were the only state in the top 10 in both those areas. Now, we had some additional money last year, and I demanded that it goes into reserves. And the good news is last year we put $1 billion in our unemployment reserves. I wanted to make sure this time we had $1 billion in reserve and we wouldn't have to borrow from the federal government for unemployment. Now, again, I think we ought to prepare for a downturn in case it happens. So we're in very good shape fiscally with our unemployment reserves and also our rainy day fund, which we also, our rainy day fund's at its highest point in I think the 15 to 20 years now at this point in time.